For years, coastal North Carolina ran on a pretty simple formula. Retirees and downsizers from the Northeast came for the lifestyle, the tax environment, and the beaches. Prices appreciated, new buyers followed, and then the whole thing repeated itself. I've watched that cycle play out for over 15 years living on the coast, 10 in the Outer Banks, and the last 5.5 here in the Wilmington area. And right now, 3 forces are converging that I believe are permanently changing how this market works. Hi, I'm Kimberly Crouch with eXp Realty. I work exclusively with coastal North Carolina relocation buyers, the people making exactly the kind of move I made myself over 15 years ago. And today I want to give you the honest picture of what's shifting, what it means if you're buying, and what it means if you're selling. We're going to cover why the old coastal Carolina growth model is being disrupted, which areas and property types are positioned to win in the new environment, and what the smart move looks like for buyers right now. Let's look at the numbers and what they are and aren't telling us. On the surface, Wilmington's market looks strong heading into 2026. Median price in March 2026 came in at $444,099, according to the Cape Fear MLS. That's up 3.3% year over year. Wrightsville Beach and Landfall are still commuting about 1 million plus entry points for the most part. And the overall average home value across Wilmington is sitting right around $556,000. But here's what those headline numbers are masking. Days on market jumped from 61 days in December 2024 to 77 days in December 2025. That increasing trend has started to stabilize with the start of the spring market, showing 63 days on market for March 2026 versus 61 a year ago. Regardless, these numbers tell you something the median price doesn't. Buyers now have time to be selective. They're not rushing. They're not waiving inspections. They're doing their homework. There's roughly 2.6 months of housing supply in this market right now. That's still pretty low, but it's down from 3.2 months at the end of the year and 3 months last March. That's not a buyer's market. It's inching towards stability, but it's still not the frantic seller's market of 2021 and 2022. And underneath those aggregate numbers, 3 structural forces are determining which parts of this market win and which ones face real headwinds. For 2 decades, the coastal Carolina relocation story worked because of very consistent buyer and a very consistent value proposition. Northeast and Mid-Atlantic sellers, many moving towards or into retirement with strong equity from a home sale in New Jersey, New York, or Connecticut, would sell at the peak of their home market, redeploy that capital down here, and get dramatically more lifestyle for dramatically less money. It worked from California and other states too. The math was undeniable. $800,000 in New Jersey bought you a tired 1,800 square foot colonial on a postage stamp lot. $1,800,000 in Wilmington or near Wrightsville Beach bought you a waterfront property with a boat slip. That story worked because insurance costs were predictable, climate risk was treated as manageable, and the Northeast equity cushion was almost always sufficient to make the trade work. That calculation is changing, and it's changing in ways that are permanent. The values went up significantly during the COVID years. There's 3 forces reshaping the market. 1, the insurance reckoning. Homeowners insurance premiums on coastal North Carolina properties have risen significantly through 2024 and 2025. When you combine homeowners insurance, which is running $2,000 to $4,000 per year on many coastal properties and more for waterfront, with flood insurance in the $800 to $2,000 or more range for properties in designated zones, the monthly carrying cost math looks very different than it did 5 years ago. I talk to buyers every week who came to coastal North Carolina expecting to save money on total monthly housing costs compared to where they were. Some of them are discovering that the coastal North Carolina insurance bill is so much higher than what they were paying inland in New Jersey or Connecticut or wherever they're coming from. So the reduction in real estate taxes that they get may not offset it as much as they were expecting. That's a conversation that needs to happen early in the process before anyone falls in love with a specific property. Force 2, the longtime owner cash out wave. Island property owners who bought in Topsail Beach, Brunswick County beach homes, and intracoastal waterfront properties 10 to 20 years ago are selling, and insurance may be the trigger. They bought when the combined insurance bill was $1,200 a year or so. Now they're paying $5,000 to $7,000 a year. Their property has appreciated significantly, and the decision to sell at those appreciated values and redeploy somewhere with a lower carrying cost is being made at scale right now. That's adding a specific type of inventory, second row and ICW side beach properties at a pace we haven't seen in years. So if you're a buyer, that's actually an opportunity. We'll come back to that in a minute. And force 3, buyer selectivity is increasing. With 63 days on on market and 2.6 months of supply, buyers have time to do real due diligence, and they're using it. The era of waiving inspections during due diligence to compete is effectively over in most segments of this market. The buyers I'm working with now are asking the flood zone question up front. They're getting insurance quotes before making offers. They want to understand everything about the house. They're factoring the full carrying cost, principal, interest, taxes, insurance, HOA if applicable, into what they're willing to pay. The market is rewarding that kind of preparation, and it's penalizing sellers who are pricing based on 2021 dynamics that have passed. Now, every buyer's situation is different, and when you're relocating from out of state, you're working with a completely different set of variables than a local buyer. If you want to understand which coastal Wilmington community fits your lifestyle goals, your insurance budget, and your long-term resale position, just download my free Coastal Wilmington guide from the link in the description below. It's built specifically for relocation buyers doing exactly this kind of analysis. Now let's talk about where the opportunities are. The new winners. The areas and property types best positioned in this new environment are the ones with the strongest lifestyle fundamentals and the most manageable financial profiles overall. Wrightsville Beach remains the most durable, high-end coastal address in the greater Wilmington area. The proximity to Wilmington's amenities and the depth of high-income buyer demand are unmatched on the island. Properties on Wrightsville trade in an entirely different liquidity environment than the island beaches further out and inland properties. And that's not changing. The Wrightsville Beach bubble area and the 28409 and 28411 zip codes, the intracoastal waterway adjacent mainland communities, are where I think the most compelling value story lives right now. Boat access, proximity to everything Wilmington offers, proximity to amenities in some pockets, and a meaningfully more predictable insurance profile than oceanfront island exposure. This is where I'd be focused if I were buying today at the $750,000 to $1.5 million price point. Leland and the Brunswick County mainland communities are absorbing steady demand from buyers who want the coastal North Carolina character and the Wilmington lifestyle ecosystem at lower price points and with more manageable carrying costs than anything on the beachfront. I want to be direct here because I think buyers deserve a clear-eyed picture. The segments with the most structural pressure are the ones where insurance costs are rising fastest and where the long-time owner cash-out trend is adding the most supply simultaneously. North Topsail Beach oceanfront, far southern Brunswick County beachfront. Any oceanfront segment where the combined insurance cost is running $8,000 to $10,000 per year or more. This isn't about the quality of the homes. These are genuinely desirable properties in beautiful locations, but the carrying cost reality is changing the buyer pool, and that's extending days on market in these segments specifically. What this means for buyers: if you're a lifestyle relocation buyer, 2026 is the best entry point coastal North Carolina has offered in several years. More inventory in the second row and ICW side island categories, more time to conduct real due diligence, sellers who are motivated and who have adjusted their expectations from the 2021 environment. The strategic move: get an actual insurance quote before you fall in love with any specific property. Compare the intracoastal mainland options against the oceanfront alternatives with real numbers in hand, not just the listing price. The buyers who will be most satisfied 5 years from now are the ones who prioritize insurability and long-term carrying costs sustainability over oceanfront prestige in 2026. That's not me telling you to avoid the ocean. I love the ocean. That's me telling you to make the decision with accurate numbers and with your eyes wide open. Now, I appreciate this video is all about predicting the future, but if you're considering relocating to coastal Wilmington in the next few months and you want advice from somebody that has been living and working here for years, then drop me a text or give me a call at 910-218-8187. The number's down below. And based on your budget and your preferences and what you want your life to look like, we can work out the best neighborhoods for your situation and point you in the right direction. I've lived this relocation myself. I know what the numbers look like before and after the move, and I'm happy to have a real conversation with you about what relocating here looks like for you. What this means for sellers: Wrightsville Beach, the southern part of Topsail Island, and the Mayfair or Wrightsville Beach bubble area, those sellers are in a strong position. The demand for those addresses is durable and not materially affected by the overall cost headwinds hitting the outer island markets. Oceanfront sellers on the outer islands need to address the insurance and overall cost reality proactively. Get an updated insurance quote. Consider including it in your marketing materials. Buyers are going to find that number anyway, so sellers who present it honestly, control the narrative, and build more trust with serious buyers upfront, and also price to the 2026 buyer who has done their homework, not to the 2021 buyer who was moving fast and waiving contingencies because they had to. Those buyers are gone. Timeline and predictions. Regional forecasts are projecting moderate price appreciation of 3 to 5% for Wilmington overall through 2026. The Wrightsville Beach and close by area will likely track toward the upper end of that range. The most important variable to watch over the next 24 months is insurance premium trends. If national insurers continue the pattern we've seen in Florida and California, pulling back from coastal exposure, the North Carolina coastal insurance picture will get more complicated before it stabilizes. That's a real risk worth understanding. The smart 2026 coastal North Carolina buyer isn't the one who got the oceanfront view at any price. It's the one who bought the best long-term value at a carrying cost they can sustain. The coastal Carolina market that welcomed every buyer at every price point with open arms is giving way to something more selective, a market where insurance literacy and carrying cost awareness matter as much as price negotiation. The buyers and sellers who understand that shift will make very different decisions than the ones who are still operating off of a 2021 playbook and previously. Watch this next video where I break down exactly why some coastal Wilmington homes aren't selling and which ones are still moving quickly in 2026. I'm Kimberly Crouch with eXp Realty, and I help buyers and sellers all over the Wilmington metro area analyze the numbers, analyze the lifestyle differences between different communities, and find the place that works best for them. It's a gorgeous place we live in with a lot of options, and I'm here to help you figure out where you fit best.